There's no better feeling than having problems. Like, you're actually alive. You get to like be challenged and stuff like that. People are no longer here. They have no more problems. So like, I feel like you're alive when you have problems.
Welcome back to Self Revelations. It's your boy B-Dab.
And I am JC.
Thank God we are back with another episode. We are back from another hiatus. Bro, this is like the second time we went on a hiatus, bro.
Like, I remember we were just talking about it too. It's like last year it felt like we only did like 2 episodes like that whole damn year. But like how we were talking about earlier too, it's like, there's so much shit going on in real life that sometimes, like, some of the things that you really want to do, you don't really get the chance to. But, here we are. We're going to try again, and we're going to keep trying. Like, one thing I feel like we're not going to do is give up. Like, just because some shit's going on in our life and we might not want to do something this day, at least we, if God gives us that chance, we have hopefully a time to do it tomorrow. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And with the things that's going on, like, we're dealing with real life shit. There's bills that's due. There's, we got to go to work. We're dealing with stuff in our family. We're dealing with losses, big losses, talking about like losing houses and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of things that go with this, that we deal with stressors as you know, but, no matter what you're dealing with, like some of the stuff we had talked about before, the camera came on, is like, regardless of all that stuff that you're going through, with all the stresses of life, which is, it's going to happen. It's life, you're going to have ups and downs, but, knowing how to maneuver through it. I think that's very big, bro. Knowing how to manage that, because like for me, myself, bro, we've talked about pretty much everything that I've been dealing with. And like, kind of like you asking me questions around it. It's hard to explain, but, obviously it's divine. Like some of the things, like some of the faith that I've had and the ability to keep pushing has came from a higher power, and a lot of things that you've dealt with came from a higher power as well. But it's just knowing like things aren't going to stay like that forever, and I have a countless amount of times in my life where that's happened, and I know that's happened in your life plenty of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely too. And I feel like, I was driving through like a cemetery, not driving through. I was on my way to work and drove past this like cemetery, and I was looking, and I realized like all these people that had passed away, they have no more problems no more. And I felt like that reminded me like, you're alive when you have problems. Like, there's so much stuff that we all have going on, and so many things we want to fix, get better at, or like financial or relationships or like career. It's like there's no better feeling than having problems. Like, you're actually alive. You get to like be challenged and stuff like that. People are no longer here. They have no more problems. So like, I feel like you're alive when you have problems.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And with these problems, with these stresses, like, I know me and you, we talk outside because we're actually friends outside of the podcast. Mm-hmm. So it's like, It's like not no fake shit. You know what I mean? But like with you, like how is things rolling into 2024? How is like, your mental been with, last year for rolling into this year?
Mm-hmm. One thing I've been trying to do is like not focus on like year to year or even day to day or even like month to month or minute to minute. It's just more like putting myself in position to keep trying to follow that straight path and those goals and ambitions that I've like put on to myself. So I'm just trying to like destroy these habits that I have, these patterns that I just keep falling back into. 1 week you could be running, 1 week you're eating great, and then you don't stay that consistent. The temptation gets you, and then you fall back to your habits, your patterns. So for me, it's like I'm just trying to take my mindset to just be more present in the moment. And by being present in the moment is just understanding that, memories are just like when you look back to yourself and you look back at memories and stuff, like those, like the stuff in the past and stuff, like even the best or the worst, like those are times that you realize you were in that moment, like you were actually there. So I'm trying to like just be present in the moment and just try to like change all these like little things about me that I don't like about myself. Like, why is it that I get comfortable with drinking a beer, when in reality it doesn't really do nothing for me. It kind of makes me like lazy or whatever. Yeah, it feels great and stuff. Maybe there's a time for it, but for some reason, why am I drinking when I got hella shit to do? And then there's other times where it's like, you know, why am I eating this food knowing that it's going to make me feel like shit, but yet it feels good? So it's kind of like I'm just trying to have like the abundance mindset and trying to push myself and just kind of put myself in the best position, like put like my best foot forward every day, like every moment, just try to make the right decision. Like that's really what it is. Like you're just trying to make the right decisions and you're just trying to keep going what you're trying to build. And like, and with like, you know, the faith in yourself and the faith in God that he will guide you correctly. Like, you know, you will get there. You just cannot quit. Like that's for me. I'm just like, just don't quit. Like, they just be in the moment. You're building. Like I remind myself, like I'm only 28, bro. Like you're gonna get what you want that other people have, maybe sooner because you've been doing this since you were like 16. Like I've always been on the self-improvement stuff and like trying to find my purpose, because it's not one thing I realized too is like we don't have just one purpose. There's so many different purposes, right? Like your purpose to your family, your purpose to your career, your purpose to God, your purpose to society, your purpose to yourself, like the way you treat yourself, the way you talk to yourself. So for me, is that I'm just trying to make sure I align with the purposes I have in my life so I can, you know, get it, you know?
Yeah, facts. And would you say that's the most challenging to stay afloat with is just staying on that path and just self-improvement, improving yourself and kind of just sharpening yourself as a man?
Yeah, man, because you know what I'm going to say is kind of funny, but like, bro, like self-improvement is kind of like, how do I say this? I was watching Fight Club. You know, have you ever seen Fight Club?
No.
With Brad Pitt and stuff? Bro, I got to show you that movie. You should watch it, whatever. It's hella dope movie. But it's like with Brad Pitt and this other actor, and basically it's about a guy that works like a 9 to 5. He has the same routine every single day, going to his desk job. Like, I think he's like I forgot what like an adjuster for like for a company with car accidents and recalls and stuff like that, whatever. And in that movie, there's a scene where Brad Pitt talks and says like people are like, fuck, I forgot how he worded it, but it was like something about like self-improvement could be like too addicting. Like it's like I forgot how he said it, bro, but he said something about like masturbation. Like self-improvement is like masturbation. It's like, and he said like some weird ass shit like that, and I was like, what the fuck? But then it made sense the way he said it. It's like you can, bro, the amount of motivational videos we can watch is crazy. It's like scrolling, like doom scrolling on TikTok and stuff like that. You could keep watching like these self-improvement shit and stuff like that, but you get too much satisfaction just watching it. You know, you're always watching it, you're always hearing it, but you're not applying it. So you could keep on the self-improvement thing, but if you're not actually physically in action doing something, you know, then you could get in the habit of like just, you know, pleasuring yourself with watching this shit. So I have to like remind myself like, hey, like don't be watching too much. You already know what you gotta do. Everybody knows what you gotta do. Like you know what you gotta do. But the thing that gets hard is like the flaws that we have, like our habits, our patterns, our pleasures, our comfort, our lack of direction, our lack of focus, because we're either eating too much or we're on Instagram too much or we're watching TV too much or we're spending too much time with people that are taking us away from our goal. So like for me, I'm trying to like just break those like habits and patterns. Like how do you like try to well, actually, you know, where do you stand right now currently at this moment? Like what are some things that you have a hard time like staying focused with? Like what's one or two things that like you catch yourself, you're like, fuck, I'm doing this shit again. Like, fuck, I'm playing the game for this many hours, or fuck, I'm over here on Instagram scrolling. Like, what do you think? What are those things? And then what keeps pulling you to it? Like, why you keep doing that?
I think it's staying structured with like doing things for my body, like eating right, working out. Like I work out hard as hell for 3 days, but on that fourth day, it's kind of like, well, I worked hard yesterday. Or sometimes I just won't even think about it. It'll be towards the end of the day, and I'll be like, man, I do got work in the morning. I'll make an excuse for myself. You know what I mean? I have work in the morning. Because it was easier back in the day. Like, that's crazy saying back in the day. But it was easier when I was younger, you know, because it's like, okay, I got practice in the morning. Like, I'm going to work out, like, with my team. Or it was a structure of things I knew that I was going to do, you know. And now it's just kind of like, you know, I'm just working out and doing these things for my health. But sometimes it's like, oh, well, I'm young. I know I can get away with, skipping working out for 2 days or whatever it may be, or going to In and Out 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, But it's just certain things that I know if I can be super disciplined with it, and this can carry on until my 30s, my 40s, and I can make a lifestyle out of it. But, one of the hardest things for me is consistency with my body, I would say.
Bro, I don't know why I just thought about it for some reason, but did you watch the Cat Williams interview with bro? I literally watched that episode twice, but one of the things that I love that he said on there was like, there's God's side and there's like the other side. Thanks. And that's exactly what like I've been on too, is like there's certain things I want to speak up on, or like if I get questioned or stuff like that, or standing up for stuff, like you have to, and you're gonna be looked at in a certain way based on like what you stand on or what you say, whatever. Or even like your goals and ambitions. Like for me, I want a lot of kids, and like there's a lot of things that like really does show of the people that you align yourself with, that you have to be like careful of. Like I did a poll on my Instagram that you seen, I showed you about like, would you rather choose $1,000? I'm sorry, hell no. Would you choose $1 million or the ability to have a kid? Like you will have a child. Like, would you rather have $1 million or have a child? And I did the poll, and it's great to see. Like it was like 70-30. 70% of the people voted that they would have chosen to have a child, or there was a few people that chose, $1 million. But I'm not like judging them, but it does kind of show where you're at. Like, you rather choose money than one of the best gifts that you have on this earth as a human being. Like whether if you're a man, that you can provide the ability to give a woman by her carrying a child and her birthing a child, and as a woman you get to harbor like and carry a child in you, and you're the one that's feeding and creating life basically inside of you and delivering like another human. I feel like, and I know that there is no greater thing than having a child. Like if you can have a child, you should have a child. And if you can't, by all means, do what you feel is best with that. You can always foster, you can always adopt or whatever. Or, I mean, if you don't want to have a child, you don't want to have a child, to each his own. But I feel like there's nothing greater than having a child. And like that type of stuff, like, really does show me too, is kind of like where you're at too. Like like money only solves money problems, like, and money also gives you freedom and a lot of things. You could buy a lot of stupid shit with it, but you can also invest and buy a lot of good things or invest in your business. But it also does show you like, you're like, if you're willing to choose $1 million over a child, like you'll probably screw me over for money. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to go into business with you, because the way you look at money is like the way I look at God. Like you choose money as a God. Like money is, that's what life's all about. Is about the money. Like money should be a chase. Like don't get me wrong. Just because you believe in God doesn't mean you're not ambitious. Just because you believe in God doesn't mean like you lack accountability. You're not gonna say the devil made me do it. You did it, but with the temptations of what in the Bible and the Quran and the religion says, like, was the devil that influenced like those temptations, right? For those people that don't believe in God or do or don't understand, like the devil interpretation that at least I get is like, it's you are making a decision, and you have to accept accountability, but at the same time, like, you need to like be very like wary of like your how do I say this? Like your like your priorities. Yeah, priority. You gotta prioritize like very carefully of like what you're trying to chase in this life, because there's a double sword to like, what you choose. Starting a family means a lot of responsibility, but means a lot of content and fulfillment. You choose like money's everything. Like money comes with a lot of great things, but money also comes with a lot of problems. Like Jay-Z said it, what did he say? More money, more problems? Or no, I forget who said that. More money, more problems? Oh shit. I don't know who said that, but like I was gonna ask you about that too. Like I don't know. You know what? What did you think about that Cat Williams episode? Like, what did you get from that? That's some of like the main things I got from it. But so it don't gotta be all philosophical and inspirational shit. But like, what did you get from watching that episode? Like, did it open your eyes in any other way? Like,
it was more of like, him setting things straight, like facts, and you know, people were, you know, lying on him, saying things about him, and there's a lot of things that I learned on there that, like, you know, people will spread an agenda to try to, you know, tarnish your name or whatever. And I didn't know he's never tried a drug other than weed. You know, I didn't know, because from the stuff I seen, I heard he was on heroin. I heard he was doing coke. He had got caught up, went to jail for this, for that, and it was just kind of like, it's kind of weird. Like, damn, every time that they spread something on him, or they would attack him any type of way, it's like, why is he always getting free? I didn't know he had that many kids either. You know what I mean? And people were asking, like, why do you have so many kids? Why would you adopt this many kids? Yada yada yada. And you know, one of the things that kind of that I thought was kind of cool is, like, he's like, well, people that ask me that, he's like, what do you think God would say if I took in 7 kids and took care of them and raised all of them? What do you think God would say to me? And I think Shannon Sharp was like, oh, I think he would say you were doing a good job. He's like, exactly. And then that's when he started getting into talking about, like, a little bit of the truth, and then his upbringing. He was actually raised Jehovah's Witness too, but you know, he had a falling out with his parents and stuff like that. But he was saying that he was really structured. But he was saying, like, basically, like him being able to do that was like, he was basically saying, like, it was God was working. And that's when he got into saying, like, hey, are you either on God's side or really the devil's side? Really, there's no in between. There's no teeter-totter. There's no playing the fence, right? Yeah. You're either doing the right thing or you're not.
Right. Yeah. You know, one thing too I got from that too was, like, it really stuck with me too. It had me praying a little bit different too. He said, I want to be God's friend. Like, I don't know why I love that shit. And I feel like, you know, saying that you want to be God's friend doesn't mean like you're equal to God and stuff like that. But it means to me, like, you want to do everything that God wants you to do on this earth, from him, by him, and for him at the same time. Like, the way you treat people, the way you raise your kids, the way you're patient with others, the way you're patient with yourself, the way you donate to charity, the way you give yourself to people in ways to, like, help them see the light in different ways, the conversations you have, the money you make, like you do everything to be in the sake of, like, in a good standing with God. Like, I really love that. Like, that really stuck with me. My praying has been so different. Like, you know, I would pray to God, like, you know, God, guide me and use me in the ways that, you know, you'd want me in to help people and stuff like that, whatever. Like, make sure I'm guided by you and not from the devil. And if I make mistakes, it's my mistakes. You know, it's not like oh, the devil made me do it. You know, like, and there is some truth into that. Like, the devil does, but, you know, I really do feel like, you know, I feel like everybody that knows what they're supposed to be doing, that's God talking to you at the same time. Like, he's telling he knows what you need to do, and you know what you need to do. But sometimes he also understands, like, the no excuse for it though, but, like, how hard it is as a human being, bro. Because look how hard it is, bro. It's hard to stay focused when everything, especially when it comes to, like, television and society and all these, like, companies and even lawyers, they're all trying to persuade you to be a consumer of things. Like, everything is to, like, make you not be so focused. Like, the food that you eat, the stuff that they put in foods, your own water, like the TV, the programming, the mental programming, it's all for you just to be like a consumer, like a robot. It's for you just to sit there, don't think, be stupid, eat a lot of food, watch a lot of TV, and
be comfortable.
Like, that's literally what it is. And, like, until you wake up, and that's why I always say fasting is the best thing. Like, when you fast, and fasting means not only food and stuff like that, and, like, soda, beer, and all that stuff, and alcohol, drugs, whatever, but fasting from, like, social media, fasting from toxic ass relationships, like, fasting from bullshit that you probably shouldn't be doing. Like, and when you get that time to really just let your mind just absorb and be more clear, you start to realize, like you start to be the person that's sober at a drunken party, and you start to look at around you, you start to look at your surroundings, you see people arguing about dumb shit, talking about dumb shit, fighting over dumb shit, you know, debating on dumb things, worshiping dumb things. Like, you start to be that sober person in the room. I feel like when you fast and when you try to stay away from a lot of shit, you're damn near like, yeah, the sober person at a drunk party. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with the fasting, you had put me onto fasting, and I had never heard about it up until the point when we had talked about it. And I think this was the point where, you had started fasting. I think you were doing it every day, right? You were doing it every day. You were fasting and praying. And when you initially brought it up to me, I was like, bro, what the fuck? What? I don't know one nigga in my contacts that fasts. Yeah. I don't know one nigga that will not eat on purpose. Like, there's people that fast, because I'm going to get into that, talking about doing it on accident. Yeah. But I don't know one person that fasts on purpose and does it for, like, to better their mental or to get into a kind of state to where there's, like, in all reality, it's about discipline, and it's about getting into, I wouldn't say a divine state, but elevating themselves, right? Yeah. So when I had first initially tried it, I was like, wow, like just hydrating, and I would work out a lot. So working out, getting out the gym, and then I would only drink my protein powder. And I tried it. I remember one day I tried it, and bro, I wasn't like gas. That's how I found out that I was lactose. That's how I found out lactose. Yeah, because I would eat cheese a lot. So I never got why I would always have stomach problems, and I'd be tore. As soon as I eat, bro, I get lackadaisical, I get sleepy, and it's like after I go to the gym, I'll eat whatever food, bro. I'm talking about I'll eat anything that's close. I'll just go get it, no matter if it's fast food every day or whatever. Wasn't on my shit, right?
Arby's. Bro, I literally side note. I literally went to Arby's one time just to be like, be that went here one time. Let me try this out. And so other people talked about Arby's. Never again, bro. That shit fucked up my stomach. That shit had me pissing out my ass. Bro, never again. Arby's don't even sponsor us here. Everything about it. Fuck Arby's.
The Arby's ain't that bad. But when I tried it, bro, I did a 24. Right. So I'm not gonna lie, it was tough, bro. Mm-hmm. Like my first time, it was really, really tough. But the feeling I got at the end when I finished my 24-hour fast. Mm-hmm. Bro, I'm telling you, I felt amazing, bro. Like, I felt high energy. That next morning when I woke up to go eat, I really wasn't even in the mood to eat, to be completely honest, because it shrinks your stomach. I know. But the next morning, I was like, I felt good. You know what I mean? I felt energized. I'm not a coffee person, but I felt good when I slept. I slept a full 8, and I got up, and I was like, damn, like, this is something that I could actually try. I still chose to go to In-N-Out to break the fast, but I'm just saying, like, it was a good feeling. And now, like, I think it was 2 years ago that you put me onto that. Now 2 years later, and like me doing it, like I'll do 24s or 48, and like, dog, I'll do it for like clarity, and like dealing with all the stress that I've dealt with in this past year, as like I've been fasting a lot. A lot of things that I'll do is like I'll do the sauna and steam room. So I'll go in there. I like to work out and do that shit on an empty stomach. So I'll eat like later after I do it, like at 3 or at 4 or whatever, and then I'll go cut hair later in the day. But starting off my day like that just makes me feel way more productive, and I feel good. And even the fruit fast as well. So I only did it like one time. I only did it like I could fast the whole day, the 24, but I'll eat fruit. And even that in itself too, like, I don't know, I can't explain the feeling, bro. I recommend everybody to do it, but I just felt super energetic, and it just felt right. It felt like I was supposed to be doing it. Like, it felt like I was thanking my body. You know what I mean? And I don't know. When you do it, you feel the difference. You're like, oh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. Like, I'm not supposed to be just sitting here and eating 5 to 6 meals a day of all this bullshit. Like, no, I'm supposed to be having fruit in my diet. Yeah. Nutrition is a real thing, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That can do a lot for you. Like, without the gym, bro, people don't even realize, like, even with fitness, like, putting the right stuff into your body is 85% of the battle. You feel me? People have lost hundreds of pounds just by switching their diet. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, of course, there's people that have, disabilities and have things to where they can't lose weight. But I'm talking about like the average person can change their body just from eating good. So I think that, the fasting and doing these type of things, honestly, it helps me distress, and it helps me like to kind of realign with my body, you know,
Yeah.
and it helps me to get back right, like a restart.
I always like think to I've been realizing this too, is like, you know, if you really want to change your life, give yourself the ability to think. Because when you really think about it, a lot of people are not thinking. A lot of people are just doing. You're just consuming. And like when you actually really realize that and just look at your patterns, look at your habits. You wake up in the morning, you get ready, you go to work, taking the same path or the back roads if you need to get to work. You're at work, you do your every single day duties that you do every single day, 365 days throughout the year, that you do almost the same thing. You know, you work for the weekdays and you have fun on the weekends, and you're always like doing this repetitive thing every single day, and you're not even really thinking. That's why like fasting is so good, because you're breaking habits and you're giving your body time to heal itself. And also you're having the ability to really think about your fucking life. That's why meditation is so good, like, because you get to really think about things before you act on it, and you get to process a lot of stuff, especially where you're at in life. Like, your life will never change if you never think about like how you got here or what's going on or what you need to do. Like, that's why, you know, taking time to be by yourself or fasting and stuff like that, or refraining from certain things, or even taking a few days off of work just to fucking sit there and think or something, or be loose a little bit, like, you know, going for a drink or going to the gym or going to hang out with friends or just being by yourself or whatever. Like, you need to be able to think about some stuff to change your life, because if not, you're going to keep doing the shit that you're doing to the day you die. You're going to be working at a job that nobody cares about you. You're going to be doing things that you have no fulfillment for. You're going to think that a position and money is going to solve it. You think a car is going to solve it. You think a house is going to solve it. But you don't realize it's really your connection to God, or your faith in the universe, karma, your crystals, whatever it is, like, you believe in. You got to have some faith in something, and also faith in yourself that you'll be able to like to figure it out and get it. But I also do think it's like starting a family is like the best thing. Like, as a man, you want to find the right woman to start a life with, get married and have kids with. As a woman, you want to find a good man that will teach you and guide you, and you could teach him some things and stuff like that too, and start a family and like go on trips and do that stuff. Like, there's a reason why a lot of people do this, because it's full peak contentment. Because you could keep going to all these trips by yourself and your girlfriends, or as guys, you keep going on fucking what's it called? Passport bro shit. Like, but like, you could keep having sex with all these women, or for women, you can have a bunch of sex with all these dudes. But there's a reason why you have to keep going at it. It's like a drug, and yet you keep going on all these trips. You could keep drinking on the weekends, stuff like that. But there's a reason why you have to keep chasing it, because it's never fulfilling. So. Yeah, but you don't know that until you fucking get to think. And like, wow, I'm fucking 35 with a cat and 3 dogs, or I have 3 cats and 1 dog, and I'm by myself in this shitty ass apartment in this neighborhood that I shouldn't even be in, and I'm working at this job that I've been working for like 10 years, and my life still sucks. And the only thing I look forward to is when I get off from work and go get that cocktail drink over at the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like. And like, a lot of people are going towards that, and there's a lot of people already in that, and we all know some certain people like that. You know what I'm saying? That never has nobody at the holiday dinners with the family and shit like that. Everybody asking like, when you gonna get married, when you gonna have kids, like. And I know we look at it like pressure and stuff like that, but it's for a reason, because that's where you get real happiness. And some people are not gonna like that and stuff like that. And like, to each his own though. But are you happy? Like, you know, really think about that. Like, and what does happy mean to you? You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, and I think a lot of things that you were talking about are just like the meditation, you know, with the you know, doing all this different stuff. It's just like really like managing your stress and actually living a successful and not a mediocre life. You know, take care of yourself. You know, there's people having heart attacks and dying at 30, bro.
Yeah, man.
Just think about that, bro. Like, that
scares the shit out of me.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you've taken care of your body. I've taken care of my body my whole life. But, like, a lot of people just don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, they just doing their thing based off of their family. Mm-hmm. You know, like some people, like, their history in their family is, you know, heart disease. And they might be like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to have, eventually I'm going to have a cardiovascular disease. I know I might have a heart attack. It runs in my family. But instead, they're taking that for what it is and not being like, you know what? I'm going to eat healthy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to break this so-called curse in my family, and that's not going to happen to me because I'm going to do everything in my power to change that. You know, okay, like just because it is common in your family doesn't mean you have to, you know, accept that. You know, and one of the things that run in my family too is heart attacks. Heart attacks run in my family. So I could look at that and be like, damn, like it's happened to my grandpa, it's happened to my dad, it's happened, you know, to my great grandpa, like, damn, I'm doomed. Or I can be like, you know, I can pick up these healthy habits. I can work out. I can do things that maybe my, you know, my grandfather, my dad, like all these people that are in my family and my bloodline didn't know. Yeah. You know, and considering where my family came from, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have the best outlet or have every form of information to be as healthy as we can be. You know what I mean? So, you know, I like for me to follow the same path and not be healthy, be lazy, not get my education, all that different types of stuff. It's just like, that's a slap in the face to them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Because I don't, you know what? Like, I hear that all the time too. It's like, oh, it's you know, my family has this. Like, my family's known for this: diabetes, cardiovascular disease, strokes, and like all these other type of ailments and stuff. But I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe like I don't even believe in the hereditary thing. And the reason why I don't believe it is because if I believe it, then I'm gonna then follow the same things that they probably did, which is keep eating like shit, keep drinking like shit, and keep not working out, keep just sitting on the couch, keep these patterns that gets you to a point, these habits that get you to the point where you do have cardiovascular disease, that you do have diabetes and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's not real and stuff like that. I'm just saying like I literally don't believe it because I'd rather just change it. That's why I fast. That's why if I feel something weird in my body, anything that I have not felt before, whatever, I immediately fast. I immediately change how I'm eating. I immediately take a pause on like drinking. I always alter something, and then those things always end up going away. Like I might feel like, bro, I have not got sick by the faith of, by you know, the powers of God, and also with the work that I'm putting in on here, which is like, bro, I haven't got sick since like 2015, 2016. Because I remember I just became aware of like what happens when you eat bad for a consistent amount of time, when you're eating the same shit for years on straight, and you're just piling up junk food and stuff in your body. And it sucks too because majority of the foods in the stores all have like a bunch of chemicals that are fucking up your body up, and like the water's not good depending on the water that you get, and then over consuming of anything really kills you. It's like, for me, I always just try to like just break those habits, and I'm not fucking perfect. Don't get me wrong. Like I still do some things here and there, but I just make sure I don't do it for like, I don't binge drink, I don't binge eat and shit like that, because then you're kind of like giving yourself you're making it harder for your body to like heal itself, because people don't know that too, right? Like your body heals itself. Like your body, if you put your body's always trying to heal. When you get a scratch, when you get a cut, it builds itself back together and it heals from within and the outside. Whenever you get sick, whenever you get a fever or a cold, your body's literally fighting infection. Like people don't realize your body's always trying to fight for you. But if you keep drowning it with a bunch of shit, you're making it harder for your body to help you recover. So if you give your body a chance to recover itself, then you will then obviously put your body in the best place to be able to heal itself. But a lot of people don't know that too, and a lot of people, you know, they put a lot of their like faith into like the pharmaceutical companies and these food industries. Like you have to know, like nobody's gonna take care of you, nobody's gonna save you. Like it's literally you. Not even a doctor's gonna save you. Like a lot of doctors don't even know shit. They know as much as you probably do. And the best thing that doctors know how to do is give you like give you prescription pills for this. Oh, you got a headache? Here's an Advil. Oh, you got diabetes? Here's fucking insulin, whatever. Like a bunch of shit, whatever. Like you have to realize like the power's in your hands. Like you have to really heal yourself. But you know, people will learn and people will adapt, and you know, I do have faith like people will figure it out for themselves, just like how I figured out with myself. But it really depends on how desperate you are and the desire to like really take control of your life, you know?
Yeah, facts. And for anybody out there that is going through that exact thing, what do you think the first steps to taking control of your life would be?
What's going on, you guys? This is JC, co-host of Self-Revelations Podcast. Connect with me on my neck, where you can find me to ask me any questions, anything with coaching, personal development, your day-to-day, even a conversation that you might not be able to have with anybody else. The link is in the bio. Go ahead and follow me on there on my neck. I would start off by, how do you not want to be like? And what are some good examples of people you don't want to be like? And you start to analyze the people around you, certain character flaws that you see, and you start to how did they get there? And it's pretty easy to see we're not that complicated as much as we think we are. A lot of us, regardless of your color and stuff like that, or your preferences of anything, you are still a human. So a lot of us we do think the same. We just might make different decisions, stuff like that. And then also we all have a different story about what happened to us when we were at a younger age or older, or life events that altered certain ways that you think. And so you have to understand we're all of us as people, we all are we always just fall back to the habits and patterns that we have. And when you want to take control of your life, you have to understand others, but you really gotta understand yourself first. It all starts with understanding how you are first. How do you operate? What makes you do this? What makes you tempted for this, and why? Why do you do this? Why you do that? And until you start to understand yourself, then you can start to understand everybody else. And then when you understand everybody else and yourself, you could then put yourself in the best position to not do certain things, because it's not gonna work in your benefit. What do they say about sin? They say sin is when you go against yourself. Obviously there's sin to God, right? But when you really think about it, I feel like God, my perspective and my perception of the word sin is it doesn't have to always be in a religious statement for people or a word, but really a sin is you're going against yourself. When you're doing things that go against yourself, you're losing control of yourself. And when you lose control of yourself, then you give the control to other people. The food that you eat, your boss at work, your family, your friends. If they're not coming from a good place and they actually truly want the best for you, because sadly a lot of people don't necessarily really want the best for you. They just want you not to do better than them, because remember I was telling you with our podcast and stuff, a lot of people are not going to support us until it's cool to support us. A lot of people are not going to hop on trends until it's cool to hop on the trends. You see people buying all these Stanley thermal cups and people fighting over it and shit like that, and showing it off. I think I seen an article, or I seen maybe somebody was talking about this. They were saying that they felt left out in this elementary or maybe high school. People were getting bullied because they didn't have a $45 thermal. And so if you don't have control of yourself, then you feel alienated because you don't have a fucking thermos that costs $45 of a brand that just because everybody has it and you don't have it, now you feel left out. And then you, like a sheep, you then go buy one, you ask your parents, or you go get the money for it just because everybody else has one. You know what I'm saying? You're not even in control. Everybody's controlling you. All the influences, you really don't have no control of yourself. You're literally this right here. People are just moving you in all the directions that they want you to go. And you think about a lot of people's life and the way they are is based on the controls and influences from everyone but themselves. So that's when I realized in order for you to take control of your life, it all starts with understanding psychology, human nature, the way money works, even the psychology of money, the psychology of crime, the psychology of the way people make food. Why do they make certain foods look a certain way? The way they do all these things, it's casinos. The from when you pull down that lever, when you press that button, all those lights, all those colors, all that stuff. Even McDonald's, they choose red and yellow for a reason. In-N-Out chooses red and yellow for a reason. Wendy's uses red. All these other colors, they're made to create this emotion in you. So until you get control of that shit, bro, you'll always be a little muppet. Have you heard the 21 Savage album? Have you heard it yet? No, huh?
Yeah, I've heard it. I've been listening to it for a couple of days.
What do you think about it? He
Cool.
only heard one song.
It's cool. No, I listened to the full thing. I like the whole thing. I didn't, cause remember when you were like, oh yeah, the beginning is kind of like
drill.
It's like drill, and then like towards the end, it's more like
R&B.
R&B. I feel like a lot of like at the beginning, cause I forgot what the song was called. The one I put on the post.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the whole way through he
consistent.
He switched it up for sure. It was consistent. It was like I don't feel like I was probably one song that I was skipping, but
yeah.
I've been listening to it for the past couple of days. I feel like it was something different for him. You know what I mean? It shows his versatility.
Do you listen to music like? Do you listen to albums like that? Like, have you ever had like an album that no skips?
Yeah. I mean, but everyone's taste is different. You know what I mean?
Name one album.
Like what is the Larry June one? The last one that came out. Snakes. Ships on a Blade. No, not Ships on a Blade.
That one. What was the newest one?
What was the newest one? I feel like that one I can listen to it straight through on repeat. Like I don't really.
Larry June is one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, like he's smooth. That's one of the vibes. It's like it don't matter what I'm doing. I could just cut his shit on. Even his old shit. Like I listen to any of him. Kodak. He has a couple albums that I could just play straight through, no skips.
What about Russ? Remember that Russ album you said that you liked? It was
bro. I've never listened to Rush a day in my life. Bro.
What a liar,
bro! Outside of you, bro, I've never listened to.
You
a
said
Rush
like this song
song
was good. You like some of his songs,
bro? No,
you're lying.
The only time I've ever listened to Russ, bro, was when I was with you and you were forcing me to, or you'll be like, "Hey, we're on live. Like, hey, put on a Russ song."
You literally told me like one of the car rides. You were like, "Hey, play that new Russ." I was like, "Bro, I got you. Don't worry."
Bro, get the.
Yeah,
bro.
Hey, do you listen to you know what one album that I really liked that had no skips was Victory Lap, Nipsey Hussle. That one right there is one of my favorite albums. Like no skips. Victory Lap, Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Do you listen to Nipsey Hussle like that?
Yeah, I would listen to him. I got put on with his Crenshaw shit when I was in high school. Elijah, we used to listen to it in his Lancer, and that was the first person. I'm like, who's this nigga you playing? And he's like, oh no, he's actually a hard artist. Woo, woo. And he had just dropped it. This, mind you, this is 2014 at the time.
That's a while back.
So was it 2014 or 2013? But he had dropped it, and you know, I think a lot of stuff he was talking about I didn't understand at the time, but as like I got older, I was like, oh shit, like he's actually talking about things that are timeless. You know what I mean? Like if you're an adult, you're gonna understand what he's talking about.
Entrepreneur and stuff,
or like someone of principles, you're actually gonna understand what he's talking about. And obviously I'm not, like his early stuff where he was talking about gangbanging and all that shit. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand all that stuff, but like for the majority of it, when he's talking about elevating yourself, like basically like being a better man, standing on principles, like I can relate to all that.
Is there any like new like music artists and stuff like that, like music genres, like because do you only listen to like rap shit?
No, me.
So I'm gonna catch you listen to some like country shit.
No, that's that. So country, I don't listen to country. So I listen to rap, R&B, reggae. I listen to lo-fi. That's one of my things that I'll listen to like while I meditate. So when I'm in the steam room or sauna, that's one of the things that kind of ease my mind. It helps me de-stress. And lo-fi is kind of like it doesn't have any like obviously there's nobody behind it like rapping or nothing. It's just like a beat.
Yeah, it's like a beat. It's like a chill, like slowed reverb, like type of like it's kind of like
it's like a vibe.
Yeah, it's like a vibe. It's kind of like a. How would you explain that type of music? It's like one of those shits like you drive in at night and it's like raining, like you just play that shit in the back. Yeah. That's what I kind of feel like. It's like some like you're reading, you're studying, you just play in the background.
It's like meditation music.
Yeah, meditation.
That's what I would say. It was something you would play in yoga or something.
Is it playing yoga?
Nah, for real. Because it helps you relax.
Are you tapped into the music like that? Like you listen to like new artists? Or do you
search
but
I don't
for
listen.
it?
I don't listen to. Like,
I don't really search for
like
it.
It's hard. Like some mainstream artists, I can't really do. Like I listen to some people that ain't really out there like that. But it is some people that I'll come across and be like, oh damn, he's actually hard. Because I listen to like music from like down south, like Memphis, like people from all over. Like it doesn't matter. I listen to people from here. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite artists is Lil Bean. Like that's one of my favorite artists.
Lil B, the bass guy. Oh,
Bean. But Lil Bean, like stuff like that. But like I haven't been into it as of recent, but like, cause I have my shit that I play, like, I have my No Cap, Rallo Rodriguez, all that stuff, but
Mexican,
like No, he's black,
Oh.
but I mean, I think he's Mexican too, but because his last name, I don't know what he is, bro. To be honest, but I know he black, like he looks black.
Yeah.
But no, he hard. It's a lot of people I listen to that's hard.
Who do you think somebody you listen to that's hella underrated, like that don't get their flowers, like somebody you think like, how come this person isn't like hyped up? Not hyped up, but let's say like you think it's underrated, like.
Me personally, I'd say Lil Bean and Kodak Black, because people like, even Kodak, because people look at his like image or like him as a person, be like, oh, he's on drugs, he's this, he's that.
Yeah, they always
but it's
say
just
that.
like, bro, he's been doing this since he was 13 years old, 12, 13 years old.
Imagine the pressures of that type of shit too, bro. Like,
bro, he was in clubs at 12 years old, bro.
Yeah, I seen the videos and stuff like that. Have you ever seen that video of him like he's like rapping on the stage and there's a police officer trying to take the mic?
He was 15. Like, he was 15 at the time.
He was literally just like cold shoulder, like, nah, bitch, I'm still gonna start rapping.
Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I think they're definitely the most underrated. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. that I mess with. Larry June.
Larry June.
I feel like he's so slept on.
I love that people are trying to catch on to him. I forgot who put me on Larry June. I think it was Javi. Javi actually put me on hella music. Javi, you know Javi.
Yeah,
Javi always put me on hella good music. He put me on Larry June, like Dom Kennedy.
Oh, Dom Kennedy.
Hella other artists that I just can't think of right now. He put me on so much shit. Like, but Larry June, I think somebody that's super underrated. But you could listen to him when you're washing the dishes, when you're at the gym, when you're with your girl.
Washing the dishes is crazy.
Yeah, when you're literally eating a pineapple. Like, bro, you can literally play his music at
That's the
all.
most random.
For real.
This nigga just named the
you
most
line of
random.
incense. You could literally play Larry June no matter what circumstance. Somebody could have died. And you could play some Larry June just to relax you, like to calm down.
That's crazy.
You playing Larry June after the funeral type shit. Like,
no, that's wild. That's wild.
But I like Larry June and stuff like that. Like, what? Do you watch movies?
As of recent,
what's the last movie you watched?
Leave the World Behind.
When's the last time you went to a movie theater?
Last Thursday. But one of the movies. What I want to talk about is one of the movies that I had recently watched. It's called Leave the World Behind, bro.
Was that a good movie?
Probably
I heard a lot of flock with that shit.
That is one of the best movies I've watched in a minute. Yeah.
That's a new Netflix one, right?
Bro, I'm telling you. Because it was weird. Like, they started, like, Netflix was dropping all of these movies or, like, putting all these movies and shows that, like, are, like, post-apocalyptic or like, movies that were, like, what would happen if this stuff would happen or if we were to go to war or anything like that. And that movie, I feel, was like the most the most accurate thing that could happen, and I think exactly what was happening going on in that movie. Besides one exaggerated part, I feel like that's how people will react. And basically, to sum the whole movie up, like basically they wouldn't like whoever was attacking us wouldn't have to attack us directly. Like everywhere, but they would let us basically destroy our nation from the inside out. They would bomb us a little bit, but in the main cities, but they would let us destroy the nation from the inside out. So I just thought about like this movie was directed by Barack Obama, and this is Michelle Obama, and I forgot who else. But it's like, damn, do they know something that we don't know? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, it's like, why would you? I ain't never heard of them directing any other movie, but you direct this movie, and it's like, is this a sign?
Like, this the movie y'all gonna come up with the first produced movie,
bro? The first one. So I think it was a lot of symbolism in the movie for sure. I think with I don't want to give away everything from the movie to you. You haven't watched it. You haven't watched. I want you to watch it, bro. I want you to watch it for sure. Yeah. But I think one of the things I could give to you, the little girl that was constantly trying to like voice herself or like tell them like a lot of things that she was saying in the movie was true, and it was like they were just ignoring her, like, oh, go away, we're dealing with this right now, like, and eventually when she did something, they were all scattered and like didn't know like what had happened. And basically, to sum it up, she made a decision based off her instinct, and just said, fuck it. Like, if you guys are going to listen to me, I'm going to, like, she just went and did her own thing. And it was ended up being the right thing to do.
Yep.
And she ended up in a good situation. And it was just like everybody else was just fucked, basically.
Damn.
So, but yeah, no, it was a really good movie. I want them to come out with it. I wish that was a show. I wish that was like a 20 episode show.
Damn.
And they could have explained a lot of stuff more. But I think it's one of those shows that's kind of timeless where it's like, you can't really, it's like so much symbolism. It's like every time you watch it, you're gonna like learn something new.
I
You
always
can have an
wonder-
interpretation of what happened.
I always wonder, like, with these movies, like, are certain like directors and stuff like that, or like the idea with making movies, are they trying to like predict like this could happen? You know what I'm saying? Or is it gonna happen or stuff like that? Because there's a lot of movies that come out that like certain events like end up happening too. Especially the times that we're in, they try to make it seem like, you know, they try to like make this everything that's going on like hella fear based. Like the world's gonna end, you know, if Trump wins, you know, like the world is over, or if Biden wins again, like he's gonna fucking die, and then what's it called? Kamala
Harris.
Kamala Harris is gonna take over. It was planned, like all this stuff, all this like fear and stuff. Like they think is gonna happen if so and so, this and that. If this happens, so if we're gonna go to war. The stuff that's going on in Palestine, free Palestine, and like the stuff that's going on like in Ukraine, all this other stuff. Like are you tapped into that stuff, or like how do you approach that type of stuff when you see on Instagram like the political stuff, or like the geopolitics of what's going on out around the world? Like, are you in tune with that? Because I remember at a time for me, like I used to be like, nah, I'm only gonna focus on like what's going on with me and tunnel vision on my path and my career and my focus and my ambitions, my family, which makes fucking sense, and you should anyways, regardless of what's going on. But at the same time, like, do you think about that stuff? Like, does it alter your decisions in any way?
I think when you really know, because for me, I try to learn as much as I can. I've been studying the Bible my whole life. When you really know who your enemy is, it's easy to gauge like the things that's going on right now. Even like all this stuff is in the Bible. You know what I mean? Like I know that, you know, in this system, you know, the Bible even talks about it like the world is lying in the hands of the wicked one. So I know that if I know that these politics, these wars, all these things that's going on, these are the things that's going to be going on in the end of days. So I know that like a lot of the stuff that's going on, it's supposed to happen. You know, I can't get wrapped up in it, but I am cognizant of it because, and I am very wary of it because there's things that's going on right now that like are hard for me to look at. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's things that are going on in, you know, these third world countries, these things that are going on in these other countries. And, you know, to me personally, I think we're at war right now. So with the movies that they're showing these movies to us and these TV shows to basically, hey, prepare yourself. Because think about it. If someone watches that show, you know what I mean? Like, or watches any of these shows that they're showing on Netflix, Hulu, they know everybody has access to a TV and to that. And if you're watching those, that might trigger something in us like, oh shoot, maybe I should get canned food, or I should get waters for the next couple months. Because what if we go to war? What if we lose power? What if, you know, this, and this happens? And I think for me, it's more like being prepared for when these times come, because we are on the brink of all this stuff. We're at a time where there's so much going on right now. Like the time we're in is like, it's never going to be repeated in history. This is the one of the roughest times to be alive is right now. And, you know, with the wars and stuff like that, and even how people are, you know, the Bible even talks about exactly how people would be in the last days. And I think with me knowing that and, you know, studying it and seeing like, damn, like even stuff within myself, like, damn, like I act like that too. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I think being cognizant of it, being very aware, looking at all this stuff, but as it pertains to like picking a political side, I'm only on one side. Like we talked about earlier, you're on God's side, but you're on the other end. Yeah. And I'm focused on being exactly what I can be. You know, I can build my relationship with God and be exactly the man that he wants me to be, and focus on what I can control. You know, can you control the next president is going to be in the United States if they already know who they're going to put in office? No. And a lot of people think, you know, my vote matters. Okay, that's cool. If you want to vote, you can vote. But I know my faith in a kingdom is divine, because nobody can fix the problems here on earth other than God.
Yeah.
You can't put your trust in a man like, why is there so many people that are homeless on the streets? That one man can't fix all these problems. This government can't fix all these problems if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? There's too much greed and stuff that are going on in the nation. So, for me, it's just more of being aware with everything, keeping up with everything, but remembering where my allegiance really lies.
Do you think this country, like, obviously I'm talking about like the United States, you think this country runs good by it being governed by God, like how it was founded, right? Like America
Was it founded by God?
Hold on, hear me out. America was founded by, we could go that route too, but I'm saying like America was first founded by like Judaism and Christianity, like the Declaration of Independence, like all this other stuff. Obviously, people go different routes and stuff like that, and use it for their own benefit, kind of like the Bible, right? There's certain people that use the Bible, use the Quran in ways to cause violence. Like they will go the extreme route of their own interpretation of the words in those holy books, and they try to use it in their way to do something that wasn't actually meant to be this way. Like people, I mean, you could agree with that, right? People do use the Bible. People do use religious sayings and verses in their own interpretation to justify their actions. Like people do that.
If you're asking me, like, do people weaponize the Bible? Of course.
Yeah.
There's people who have weaponized the Bible and have
Yeah.
used the Bible to make people bend to their will, and that's the thing that has hurt a lot of people, even my people. Hey, listen to your master, serve your master, and don't, like, basically serve your master and don't be problematic, right? But they weren't showing you the part where it was like, let my people go, right? So it was certain parts that would be shown because, when my people were slaves, they didn't know how to read. So if we don't know how to read and you're showing us the word of God and you're telling us their interpretation of it, all it takes is one person to actually read it for themselves. Hey, it actually has this part too. You know what I mean? And that's where a lot of conflict happens. And that's like where a lot of confusion happens with the Bible and other people, because they look at it like, bro, there was wars that started over this Bible. There was people that were lynching people, burning people with crosses on their front lawn, reading scriptures.
And people who haven't read the Bible and haven't read the Quran, like, people don't know there's battles within those books. Like they talk about wars and stuff like that, that happen. But what I was going to ask you was, do you think, like, because obviously one thing I don't do and I don't believe, I don't believe like we live in the worst country in the world. I believe actually in America we live in the best country in the fucking world. And to say like we're not living in the best country, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm gonna share my perspective is I would not want to live in no other country than America. Of course it has its problem, of course it has its issues, and to try to think like this is gonna be some type of like, I forgot what they say, like, well, for the term for like, what do they say? They don't say like Atlantis. They say like utopia. No, not utopia. But they try to like, they're never going to be a world, or not even a person's perfect. So why would you think a state, a country, whatever is going to be perfect? That's why you have to voice and fight for something to make sure that we're all falling in the right, we're aligning ourselves together to like bring unity and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's I think we're all complicated humans. They'll never get to that. I don't think it's never going to be full unity, but we should always fight for it because it adds balance. There's certain people that are trying to break it down. There's certain people trying to lift it up, and we need both sides to basically continue fighting because it's always going to be that way. It's never going to be perfect unless we go towards like communism, like North Korea or China, where the point where they take all control from you and they want no gender. They just want you to work and just slave and destroy the lower and the middle class, and it's only rich and poor. We can go that route. People want it, but like that's not going to be working good for none of us. But I truly do believe like we do live in the best country in the world. Was it founded in ways that were not ethical? Of course, and that's not even a fucking question and stuff like that. But I was going to ask you, like, do you think like this country would be better in being governed by God, as in the rules and stuff like that, the morality is based on the Bible, based on Christianity, based on like, that's what it was funded on. A lot of these like the laws and stuff like that was funded by the Bible, was funded by majority of it was from like the Old Testament, the First Testament, all these like different versions of the Bible when it comes to morality and stuff like that, and money and the treatment of people. But as you can tell right now, they're trying to kind of go away from God, and they're trying to go more towards like this atheistic route of like being a consumer. It's all about getting rich. It's all about getting money. It's all about doing this. It's all about having fun. It's all about doing this. Everybody can do whatever the hell they want. Like it's your business, whatever. They're trying to teach, you could be any type of sexuality. It's okay to, be this and that. Like they're trying to say that they're trying to change the word pedophile to minor attracted people. So that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think this country would like run? What do you think is the way a country should be run? Like, governed by God and its morals and principles, even though there's some things that don't align. Like, like the Pope just said that it's okay for. He's trying to. I think. I don't know if you've seen this. Like, he is saying that. That gay people should be able to get married and be blessed and stuff like that, when the Bible doesn't say that. Like, that's a sin to do that. And I'm not saying like I don't have no hate towards people that are gay or lesbian or bisexual and stuff like that, But at the same time, like, if you're gonna follow God's principles, that is a sin because you can't create life. So like you're engaging in sexual activities for pleasure. There's no benefit. There's nothing the world's gaining from this. And so it's kind of like, do you believe the country runs better with God coming first or man coming first? Because I feel like they're trying to, like we were talking about earlier, right? I think, was it ABC or NBC? I think it was NBC. They edited out C.J. Stroud giving glory to Jesus Christ, like his savior, right? For his accomplishments on the field and his efforts, and that's how he's fueled. But they literally edit out the first beginning 5 seconds of that and just make it more towards C.J. Stroud's faith in himself and his team and stuff like that. But they removed that. Like, you see this a lot. Like, they're trying to remove prayer from school and stuff like that. Like, do you think this country runs good with God or more towards man and money and all that stuff? I mean, it's an obvious answer, but like, what do you think about all that stuff,
Yeah, of course, I'm always gonna be, for God. But just to go back to one of the things that you had said, like, about the nation and like how like us all being together, being all unity as in one, like how like it wouldn't be possible. That stuff is already in the work with the United Nations, so they're already in the works of like putting all of us under like basically one foundation, as you could say, and I think, like, in my opinion, I think that after there's something that catastrophic that's going to happen, this United Nations that they do have and they do meet for is going to go in full effect, and they're going to try to have complete control over everybody. Mm-hmm. So they're going to use all that's happening right now as fuel to do that. But that's a whole nother story. But to answer your question, yeah, for sure. I think if everybody, if we had a nation that truly, and not, I would say not follow God, or that follow God's commandments truthfully and not like be hypocrites with it, I think that our nation could reach limits that like we never thought we could reach, but it starts like, we need God for that, bro. We need that. Yeah, we need that balance, because when there's no structure, everyone's just clinging to anything. Or worshiping. You know what I mean? Like, like you said, like, we're not saying that we hate or dislike anybody or anything, or if it's your belief or whatever, but we have people that are just making things up, making up religion, making up sexualities, making up identities, and running with it because they don't have a structure. They never had a structure. They don't have a faith. They don't believe in God. Like, people will believe in everything. People believe in Google 10 times more than they would the scriptures. They'll be like, oh, somebody could have changed the scriptures. This scripture has this Bible has been translated 10 times. Yeah, it's been translated in probably 100 different languages. Oh, it doesn't say exactly what it said. It is. Okay, can you read Aramaic? The language that Jesus spoke. Can you read Aramaic?
Yeah.
But they'll trust something that has something on Google that has 30 sources.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From scholars that probably were still studying at Harvard.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
And things
So
were
it's like
sponsored to be in your first page.
exactly.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy B-Dab, co-host of Self-Revelations Podcast. I just wanted to let you guys know to connect with me on Connect. It's a new program that we're going to be partnering with. We're going to be providing mentorship, advice, FaceTime videos, text messages, basically connecting us with you guys, our community. So make your account and let's get connected. Link is in the bio.
So it's bro, I'm pro God. You know, you like you said earlier, like you either on God's side or you on the other side, and that's how I feel with it, bro.
I feel like the world is safer when it's governed by God too, because when you really think about it, like, and if you really follow what God was trying to give to the world through, you know, in the words of like the Bible, the Quran, and stuff like that, like it's literally a guide to how you treat people. Like, you know, one thing I love, like that I learned through like through Islam and stuff was like especially like the first few verses in the Quran, they say like, not the first few verses, actually I think it is, but they say like, let's say you are part of the LGBTQ community, right? It's not a sin to be gay, but it is a sin to act on it, right? But at the same time, that's none of my business. You know, what you do is what is your part of your business, but that's between you and God, right? Like I shouldn't be commenting on your issue, but you as well shouldn't be promoting that as well. Like that's the problem. Like, you're trying to promote this to kids and other people's family and schools. In reality, that's something that should be personal to you. Like I'm not promoting being straight. I'm not promoting like, you know what I'm saying, like you should be straight. Everybody should be straight. Like no, I am straight and I want a family and I want generations to be created from me with my last name and my bloodline. I want to pass that on, you know. And if you don't want to do that, that's between you and God. That's between you, like, you know, you asking for forgiveness. I don't think you'll go to hell just because you are gay and you do act on that. Like, I think you will go to hell if you act on it and you try to promote it and you try to neglect God, like God isn't real. Because if I were to ask you something, is God real?
Yes.
Why is God real?
It's in everything that we do in life. Just think about it. You think, you know, we got here from two rocks clashing together? You think we came from being monkeys? That you, like, there's people that genuinely think like, oh yeah, like, you know, I've done studies and the earth is about 3 billion years old. We started from fish and then went to chimpanzees, and from chimpanzees went to cavemen and
Yeah, bro, I feel the same way.
Or they'll come out with a theory. You know, look up the definition of a theory.
Exactly.
Come up with a theory and be like, yeah, let's run with it. This is what happened.
This is the truth. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I just know, bro. It's just certain things. Like I've studied the Bible. I've tried to reject the Bible in my life. I've tried to run away from it. I've tried to do my own thing. I've tried every single form of reproach when it comes to God, bro. And like he's never left me, bro. I know it's somebody looking out for me, bro. There's no way I get to where I get to in my life by myself. There's no way I did all that by myself, bro. I just know it. You know,
there's so many things that happen, right? There's so many, like, just people call it miracles, right? People call it karma. People call it the universe. People call it coincidence. But like I believe like it's God, because there's no way things just happen in like a coincidence. I feel like you put yourself in position and God blesses you, or, you know, I don't think things just happen just to happen, whatever. Like, and then also too, like, I think it was Cat Williams. He said that he's like, how the fuck we gonna come from monkeys if monkeys are still monkeys? Like if you think about that shit too, I thought about that. Evolution is so stupid in my mind. But how the fuck are we gonna come from chimpanzees when they're still chimpanzees? Like you telling me we were the special ones and these motherfuckers just stuck there just being fucking still chimps? Like that shit always amazed me too. I always thought about that too. But I think that's what happens, like, because I truly do believe God is real too. I feel like when there's evil, there's good, and when there's good, there's God. Like as much as there is a devil, I think there's also God. Like, and people always say it too, like, well, if God's real, right? Like, then why are all these bad things happening? And I think that people forget that, like, God gave us the choice of free will, right? And also too, we are able to think and do things that no other species on this earth can do. Like, we can literally think before we do something. We can literally envision, if we do this, what's going to happen. And if we follow our path, we could vision like ourselves. We could see if we do these things right, like we can get this. We could predict if I step over this cliff, I could see myself dying, like falling and stuff like that. There's things that other animals like can't do, and other stuff like that. And it's crazy to me. It's like, I think about this too, like, you know, like people, one thing I think people struggle with too is like their faith in God. Like, how do you have a faith in God, right? Like, how do you have a connection to God? It's like, how does that even make sense, right? And I look at it like in the way of like, bro, I can literally FaceTime you, right? Let's say you're somewhere else, or like, let's say my mom's in Mexico, right? I FaceTime my mom in Mexico. There's these things that you cannot see that's literally communicating, and a signal that's going all the way to Mexico that you can't see, that's getting to her FaceTime. Like, and that's the way, like, if you could believe in that shit and it's actually going on, and you can have faith in, like, it's like driving, right? Faith is like driving every day to work. You don't even have the fear of going to work. You just get in the car and you just drive, right? Like, the same way you have faith that you're going to get there without even thinking about it, you have faith that you're going to get there to work safely every time, because you've been doing it over 100 times. Like, a similar way of like having faith in God, or the connection to God through like the FaceTime. I feel like people, I think, sometimes maybe complicated. I feel like, I feel like I say something different, but like the faith and connection to God, I feel I have, is almost like undeniable. Because like, I've been through all the stages. I've been through, like, you know, growing up Catholic. And I feel like also too, if I had a different example, I could have stayed a Catholic. I could have become a Jehovah's Witness. I feel like all these religions are, when you really understand like the religion and stuff like that, when you read the Bible, when you read the Quran, when you, even Jewish people and stuff like that, like, I feel like we're all have the same goal, and it's really just building our closest connection to God, and doing our best here on this earth. I feel like we're all on God's team, but there's certain people in this world that wants to divide you, like your race, your class, your middle, lower class, higher class, whatever. They want you to worship NFL players instead of God. They want you to worship superhero movies, like, or superhero characters. They want you to worship like even food, you know, like they want you to worship like characters in a movie and stuff like that. Like they want to like try to replace God with consumerism and stuff like that. And it's hard. Like, I get it too. And like alcohol like depletes you and stuff like that. And like, there's certain things that are always just trying to find a way to like get you a way to remove God. Because if you remove God in a country, then there is no right or wrong. It's whoever is the man says is right and wrong, and you have to follow what they say. Like, I think in North Korea, every house has to have a picture of Kim Jong-un.
Something crazy.
Or you go to jail, and every time that I think he stops or pauses, you have to clap, and you have to keep clapping, like, I think until he does something, whatever. It's like, that's the way we're gonna go. Like, if we remove God.
See, and it just, this stuff is so crazy. Because think about it, like, just here, you know, how we talked about earlier, like, you know, the United States, it's like, you know, we have it easy. We think, you know, we have it easy because a lot of stuff that we deal with is spiritual. Mm-hmm. We don't deal with someone, you know, kicking down our door with AKs, taking our wives and daughters and leaving, right? Like, that's stuff that happens in third world countries. That's stuff that, you know, we don't have to think about or even imagine, right? Mm-hmm. Over here, it's like, you know, your temptation is going to come through your phone. Like, are you going to be preaching to someone and then the next day you're watching pornography, mm-hmm. or you're cheating on your wife or doing X, Y, and Z? Over there, it's kind of like, oh, hey, like, they're going to kill you if you don't do this. Like North Korea, like, you'll be put to death if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you know? So it's, I think, yeah, it's different, but we, you know, everywhere is, you know, every nation, and you're going to deal with a different type of demon, mm-hmm. you know, or deal with different types of temptation and problems. And, you know, I feel like Satan wants us to struggle like that, mm-hmm. because it's going to be like, you know, people with that same mentality like you talked about earlier. Why, if God was real, why would he allow all this stuff to happen? Why would he allow, God to, or allow my daughter to pass away? Why would he allow my brother to pass away? And, these questions is questions that, a lot of us don't have answers to. But at the same time, it's like, let's just say, for instance, like, someone put themselves in a situation where they're in a gang, or put themselves in a situation where they overindulge and they have diabetes, or let's just say someone is killed, right, for, trying to be somebody that they're not. Is that God's fault for putting them in that situation? Is God putting them in that situation? Or is it their choices putting them in that situation? And if this wicked system, if this wicked system is being controlled by the wicked one, or in the hands of the wicked one, and he's the puppet master behind all this turmoil, that we haven't even experienced the real life yet. We're not going to experience the real life until God is with us. All this stuff that's happening, like, bro, we were never supposed to experience none of this. You know what I'm saying? Like we were never meant to die. Why do you think it's so fearful? Why do you think all these things, why do you think it's so easy for us to digest fruit and vegetables and drink good water? That's what our bodies are supposed to be digesting. You know what I mean? Like, we were supposed to be here forever and continue to procreate all through time. But through sin, like, we did that to ourselves. Satan challenged God, and God has to allow him to, like, you know what? Hey, let's see how you say you're a better ruler. Let's see how you do. Right? But we know at the end of the day, when, God comes back, or when God takes back over, we're not going to be dealing with these same things. These things that we're dealing with is short term. You know what I mean? The time that we're living in right now is very critical, because you think about it, bro, this is the last 6 years. Think about the last 6 years. Look at the difference that it is.
Yeah.
The wars, the things that's going on within our country, like the turmoil, the corruption, the people, the money hungry, like how you said earlier, they're trying to fucking sell air.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
Think about that, bro.
Yeah.
How you, and I even think it's crazy how you sell land. How do you sell land that wasn't yours, bro?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You feel what I'm saying? Like it's just wild to think about, like, everything that we have to bust our ass and work 60 hours a week to obtain. It's like, these are things that could have been free for us. But when you don't have a faith in anything, and you're kind of oblivious to everything that's going on, you just think like it's all God, that God's doing this bad to us. But it's not, bro. That's not the finger to be pointed at, bro.
It's really just man. And man is not like man in general. It's just like human beings like that they have. In the Quran, like in the beginning, they say, like, those who oppress, they say, we're just trying to help, like, these people, like the hypocrites, like people are like trying to manipulate and persuade you to take control over your life and stuff like that. They're the ones that are going to heal you. They're the ones, we're the government. Like, look at us as God. We'll take care of you. Welfare. We'll give you all this money, stimulus check. Like, like they'll do all these things. We'll change your life. The president's like, we'll do this for you. We'll do that for you. Like, all that stuff is, and it is, now I'm moving a little bit, like, to end it with this for me, like I believe God does not need us. Like, we need God. Like, God does not need us. So that's why God is willing to let you choose and see how cause we're a soul. That's why I think, like, I think like the body that I'm in means nothing. I feel like I don't feel like what's true paradise, the true things that we're trying to search for, like perfectionism and the perfect world that we're trying to create here, has already been created. But we're trying to look at it like we're gonna get it here on this earth. Like, it's actually afterlife, the afterlife. I think where forever is at, like where the river flows water, like, in heaven, basically. Like, I feel like here on this world, we're getting tested. We're like, our soul's getting tested. Like, how strong is your faith? You know the truth. You've been spread the truth. There's been warners here on earth that have been trying to bring you to God, trying to make you wake up. Your own soul is trying to tell you certain things, like, and I'm not expecting. I don't think God would expect us to be perfect, but God wants to see like how much are you really trying, like how, because He knows, like, you know, God is like the all-knowing, all merciful, and He understands. But at the same time, He really understands. So you could sit here and say you're a good person, stuff like that, but God knows you're a piece of fucking shit. Like you're saying you're this and that. You say you donate to charity. You say you do these things and you're a good person, but yet you're over here cheating on a woman, and as a woman, you're over here cheating on a man that truly has good intentions for you. You're not being honest. You're not admitting your mistakes and stuff like that, or you're stealing money from the business and stuff like that for your own indulgements and stuff like that. You're beating your kids, and you're telling people, like, you know, that you're such a great father and stuff like that, but yet you haven't seen your kids. You buy yourself shoes before you buy your kids some shoes. Or you say you're a good mom, but you're always clubbing, and you're leaving your kids with your mom to take care of them and stuff like that. Like, you know, God knows. Like, you could fool Instagram, you can even fool people, like, but you're not going to fool God. And like, God knows your heart. And I feel like God has certain people's hearts closed because God already has it set for them. Not like He's I wouldn't say like He's doing it on purpose, but certain souls are just corrupted. Like, there's no turning back. I feel like there's certain people that it's written already for you. And I feel like, could they be saved? I think so. But nobody's going to like want help. I mean, nobody's going to change if they don't want help. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like for my purpose here is like try to be the best person, like try to be God's friend, like try to do His duties and be a soldier of God, stand on something, you know, be willing to die for it, you know, willing to die for my morals and my standards. I'm not just because of a money thing or just because of opportunity, I'm just sell my soul and go against God just for this worldly thing that's very short. Like, you know, God willingly we live 100 years or so, whatever, if we do. But at the same time, that's not even the goal here. You know, like this world, yeah, we have certain things we want to chase: money, cars, and whatever, family, freedom, purpose, leave an imprint in this world. But this is not the all and all. Like, this is not everything. Like, it's for me, I look at it like I'm building my resume here. I'm building my resume, so when I go to God and we're looking at the whiteboard, He's just showing me everything that I did good and some of the shit that I didn't do good in, and I failed in. I want more good than I did bad. So if the worst things that I did was drink alcohol and hurt some people here and there for my lack of understanding and maturity at that time, but I did a lot of these other good things and I had good intentions and stuff like that, I hope just God has the mercy to be able to basically like to feel my sincerity. And I hope I am sincere, and I hope I did have good intentions, but He knows best, and that's all. I'm gonna just leave it up to God, and whatever fate that He chooses for me, then I just gotta deal with the consequences or accept the blessings, and then just move that way while I'm here on this earth, at least. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, facts. And would you say that your relationship with God, becoming His friend, starting a family, getting your mental right. Mm-hmm. This is a formula and taking care of your body. This is the formula to live a successful life.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Because my success of life is like all those things you just said. Because I realize how much meaning that actually gives. There's certain things that obviously I have like great things going on in my life that we know, mm-hmm. I feel like there's nothing more important than like starting a family and having somebody you truly love and truly, and it's not perfect and it's not perfect, but you got somebody that really, really loves you, and it's not only just a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, but it's also it's that, but it's also your family, your friends. You got people who genuinely want you to do good, and genuinely, they don't look at you doing better than them as a competition, or maybe they do, but they look at it as motivation, mm-hmm. and they might feel that jealousy or envy for a tiny second. I don't doubt people still have those emotions, even the best people. But they could bypass it. They're no, that's not the way I should approach it. I should be happy for this person. Yeah, they might have something that I want, and I want to get there, but I'm gonna be happy for them because it's gonna be only a matter of time until it's my turn. Like, you know, like having people like that, and seeing the smile on somebody's face, you know, like that you love and you love them, and creating life, like seeing your own flesh, like your own gift that God gave you to be able to have a child. I feel like that changes like everything, and it also is like, you know, you're passing on morals and standards that hopefully your children are going to be able to then bestow on their children. It's just like a domino effect, you know. And nothing's more stronger than a God-fearing person. Like the champions, the greatest people on earth that all remembered are the ones that all believed in God. I don't know anybody that was remembered that didn't believe in God. And I'm not saying there isn't people. I'm pretty sure we could probably pull up names of atheists and stuff like that. And even then, they all believe in a higher power and stuff like that, even those people. But I'm not talking about them either. And, you know, I'm not here to judge at all. I'm just focused on my shit. So, yeah, I think that is like success. I think success is family. Success is, you know, you could look in the mirror and you could tell yourself, like, you know, you tried and you're trying and you're just trying to be a good person. Like, I could look in the mirror and smile. And I could look in the mirror and also break the fuck down because I want a lot of shit. And I don't got it yet. But I remind myself, like, you know, you just got to be patient. You know, God's going to give you what you deserve based on what the work you put in. So, like, based on the work I put in and what I get, that's what I deserve.
Yeah, facts. And that was beautiful. That was a beautiful way to end it. That's a beautiful way to explain, you know, everything that builds that foundation to lead a successful life and a successful course of building a relationship with God as well. You know, I appreciate you for, you know, breaking that down and us being able to share our perspectives besides having, you know, a difference of faith. You know, and that's something that I think that is very dangerous in the way that we are able to express ourselves and talk about different things. You know, and I think that's the diamond. You know what I mean? Not judging each other, but having a simple sit down conversation. And if people of power could do the same thing, just think about, you know, how more ahead of schedule we could be. As a nation, as a world, and if people just look like just as quiet as simple as it can be, you know, just have faith in God and actually lived their whole life, everything they do, based off of that and based off of God's principles, you know, everything would be much more simple, you know. But you know, we're in a corrupt society, you know, full of people with greed and stuff like that, and all we can do right now is really, you know, better our own situations and continue to elevate and you know, make sure that we're right with God, you know, when He returns. But you know, we appreciate you, Wanavele. We appreciate everybody that tapped in with us. You know, we appreciate you guys for sticking with us these 2 years. You know, it's been a long 2 years. You know, we've been grinding for you guys. We've been putting our nose down and just getting at it and getting the website up for you guys, getting the clothing brand up for you guys. You know, the link is in the bio of our Instagram, and you know, we appreciate all you guys. If you can, please give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. We're on all social media platforms. We thank you guys so much, and we love you guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on Self Revelations.
Sheesh.